Hello everyone and welcome to Estella's Intuitive Chamber. Today we have a very special day. It's the spring equinox, also the pagan tradition under the name of Ostara. Easter is around the corner, the Christian Easter, so it's the moment where everything is slowly waking up. Nature is waking up, animals are waking up from their deep sleep, depending on which animal. Um, the weather is getting nicer and better. Obviously, this doesn't really apply to Ireland because it's been raining here for the last week, and nothing applies to this country really because it's very dark and rainy. Certainly, definitely, I think maybe Norway, could be perhaps more dark, but it's quite wet and rainy, so it doesn't apply to Ireland. Every like I always laugh because I always say to people every March of like any year, it seems like in Ireland the weather just reverses into winter, and then sometime in April and May it starts becoming like real spring and summer, and I just don't understand why this is happening. But there's there's definitely more to the vibe of this country. I actually read something interesting. I read that in ancient Druid and ancient Celtic traditions, they used to basically make this country so wet, foggy, and rainy that it was a very vulnerable island, very vulnerable to foreign attacks. So what they used to do, the Druids or the Celtic shamans, they used to basically encircle the island with like such fog that it couldn't be located by the Romans or other attackers, and hence why they were apparently so successful and excuse me, hiding themselves for so long. I have also read something very interesting just a couple of days ago that I love all this kind of stuff about a little island on the northwestern side of Ireland itself, and it used to be called Brazil, and it's an island that kind of appears and disappears. It's sort of they almost say it's a magical island, but apparently it used to exist in the 1600s. It was recorded in several old maps, and over time, probably as the sea levels were rising, it probably sank, but it was a place of magic. Apparently it was a very mystical place. Not sure exactly why the name of it was Brazil, but you can also see that a lot of Irish people, their last name is Brazil, so you can kind of see how that name etymology could be like carried on maybe from that island itself. You kind of wonder sometimes, but I am kind of terrible at history. I don't know too much. I just kind of pick up on pieces every now and then that I kind of vibrationally resonate with, and it's just like, okay, well, this is something that most likely happened. That's just my intuition speaking right now. But going back to the point, so I've made my point that spring isn't coming to Ireland, hopefully soon. But anyway, for normal climates, for example, well, the climate isn't normal right now, as we can see, but in traditional climate, traditional seasons, you'd see everything reawakening, you would see everything waking up, and basically can tell spring when it comes. I'm very sick today, but somehow I feel like my energy is kind of like on a good vibration, and I said this is not really gonna stop me from making a video. I really want to make a video. I mean, it's the new moon in Aries. There we literally have the sun, Mercury, and the moon in Aries. They just entered Aries, which is so exciting because this is such a um, I see this like a carriage, for example. If you imagine a carriage that has been standing still for a while, now this Aries energy is like the starting, the new beginning of something. It's officially starting this week, whatever it is, whether it's something in the world, and I also feel there's something that could start now. I can't really say if it's negative or positive. There could be positive things, there could be also negative things. Aries is connected to Mars. Mars is the energy of Mars. sorry, Aries is the energy of Mars, so the energy of ultimately conflicts, war, passion, um, all of those things associated with also the god of war, Mars. So I'm not saying that war could start this week, but some kinds of certain conflicts could begin this week officially, because as well, all of these planets are now square Mars in Gemini. So it could just be like, it could just be like very kind of like there is no deal or peace negotiation. It just kind of blows up in a way. Very, very careful of conflicts. And I keep saying that every time, but it's just something that's coming up a lot lately. Um, you have to be very careful of not being too confrontational. There's already a lot of stuff escalating this week. With the Aries energy, is also a very good time to begin something. So something that has been like laid stagnant for a while. Now this energy is just being like, this energy was stalled and wasn't moving forward. There was like a wall, and now officially it's like that wall is lifting up, and this energy is just beginning. It's not beginning; it's moving forward. So finally, you will see um, the matter of love matters. Um, you could see the matters of resolving documents, bureaucracy, like, for example, getting a passport or getting an ID sent or getting something approved for court. Like this, something is so, like you see this like wall that was like stopping you from getting this. It's like lifting up, and it's like letting this energy go through. It's very good today. I feel it would be very good to kind of focus on Aries. Aries is all about passion, our passion, the initiation of our deep, deep passions. The it's almost kind of allowing you to pioneer in your own ideas and your own passions, and to kind of see to kind of begin that's something very important that you wanted to start, because you felt so blocked off the last couple of months. Now it's like officially starting, this energy, something wasn't working out and you couldn't really understand, like, why is this not going forward, but now it's officially going forward, and it's the start of a new conflict. Number one. Number two could be a start of a new idea as well, because as far as I'm concerned, Neptune is also very close to Aries. So like a start of a new idea, um, something that could like literally encompass, or could like wash all over us as humanity, or as people. Could be the beginning of the beginning of something that you're very, very passionate about and that you strongly believe in, and that you have to like really you have to like really work for it. But now it's the kind of the best time to really work for it. Like now, I'm not letting anyone take me for a fool. I'm not letting anyone take me for granted. Now I am beginning this, and it's like this, I can see this like ball rolling. There's no like stopping what's coming, basically, what I'm feeling right now. Interestingly enough, I can see that Venus is in Taurus right now, and it's in conjunction to the North Node, and it's making a square to Pluto. So we can see, in this case, we can see the beginning, so the Aries energy, so the beginning of financial collapse, because obviously Venus in Taurus is very much connected to finances, to things we own, to our assets and so on. So we can see them um, with like Venus being in square to Pluto. We can see like how Pluto is losing its power. So going out of Capricorn and moving into Aquarius, it's like losing its power over Venus in Taurus, the money. And a very, it's a change that's very, very needed. Well, for humanity, I feel, even though I'm afraid they might like try to, maybe reinstall a system that could not be suitable for a lot of people, especially for small businesses or people that are self-employed right now. So in this case, like there is like a great financial loss that can be felt throughout the world, with banks falling apart, with banks becoming extremely bankrupt and so on. You can really see this energy of like money, of like financial loss. And I can see a lot of people are experiencing a lot of poverty right now, or they feel kind of poor, like they feel like they haven't been able to afford the same stuff they were able to maybe afford more. So there's like a power, it's a loss of power, it's a loss of material power. There's a lot of talks about entering this new age, this age of Aquarius. It can go good and can go bad for many reasons. I suppose we'll just have to live and see. um, what was I gonna say is that I very much feel like the world is going to be divided in two parts. Not maybe physically be divided in two parts, but I feel like there's going to be a part of people that are going to look up to a holistic way of life, holistic, sustainable way of living, and I'm not talking about eating bugs. Uh, that's just I'm not even going to comment on that. I don't think it's even worth my comment. But I'm talking about the holistic approach, the sustainable, real sustainable approach in lifting up the vibration, the connection between your body, your heart, your mind, and your soul. I'm talking about that, like complete vibrational uplift, with the holistic, with the start of the new age holistic approaches to health, for example, Saturn in Pisces, to to a mental health, especially, and to dividing yourself from Pluto and Capricorn, from the big corporation, from the big machine. So there's going to be a divide. Um, I feel like those who kind of want to progress into, big technology. I feel like obviously there's going to be like a chance given, but there's going to be a divide between those who choose to be spiritually enlightened and to live according to live in balance and peace with nature, and those who just wish to see it all destroyed and live in a capsule, technological capsule, a technological utero, for example. I see this as a way, but not soon. That's I'm talking about 224 to 25. Mostly 226 is when this conflict could escalate. Um, Something else I wanted to point out, that beside this worldly thing, this Aries energy is a very good energy to begin something new. Very good for manifestation. I found this awesome manifestation. Um, Now, I wouldn't be a fan of like voodoo or hoodoo or anything like that. I don't really go in those circles. I decided to work with the light, but there's a few practices. For example, the manifestation practice that you can do for yourself for manifesting things you want. There's a lot of like little cool like hoodoo practices that you don't really have to like. Some of them are very dark. It's something I don't like. I don't like very occult and dark stuff, even though in one of my past lives I was actively doing a lot of black magic and occult stuff, and I don't deny it because it's something I kind of resonate with. But in this life, I decide like not to meddle or deal with that at all, and I think it's a good decision. But there's a lot of beside the dark stuff that you have to ignore if you're too sensitive like me. You're extremely sensitive. You absorb a lot of stuff. Don't do it. It's not going to be good for you. But there's a lot of these cool practices. For example, you can take a piece of paper and you can write your name, and you can write, what you want to manifest. You put it under a crystal, cleansing crystal, or you wear it around your neck. For example, I don't know who told me that. I think it was probably my healer, and she's a wonderful, wonderful lady. And I want to give her, in this video, want to give my healer, my energy healer, my regards. Um, I'll put a link down below. Check her out. She's wonderful. I think she told me, because as I said, I have a memory of a goldfish. Um, Basically, she told me that you can also basically, if you want to manifest something like a romantic soulmate or a partner, that she heard of a lady putting her soulmate in a piece of paper around her necklace, and she was wearing that for 6 weeks before she was actually able to manifest this person. um, that is one of the practices you can use. Manifestation is great for today. I absolutely recommend it. I might do some myself if I don't pass out in bed before 11 o'clock. I just lit some of my sage. I have a bit of angelic music, which I hope is not making too much noise for the video, because I don't want to make a 20-minute long video and then kind of see, oh, actually the music was too loud. But something else I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to talk about the fact that Moon in Aries itself, it's uh, like Aries doesn't feel too good in, you know, the moon doesn't feel too good being in Aries, because Aries is a very much masculine energy, is ruled by Mars. It's holding a lot of masculine energy. So the moon naturally being feminine and nurturing and so on, it just doesn't feel good in Aries. There could come up to feeling frustrated. You could come up feeling extremely impulsive, or you could end up feeling frustrated because like things aren't moving as quickly as you wanted them to. It's creating deep frustration. It's going on. Or I know that Aries is connected to the pancreas, stomach, so the solar plexus. So careful that all these frustrations don't just end up sinking into your stomach or your pancreas and affecting maybe even the liver itself. Definitely use this time, instead of feeling frustrated as things aren't moving as fast. Like, for example, I'm very frustrated if things don't go very fast. And then I'm like, why is this happening? Why, it should have happened already. It's not happening. And I get super pissed off. But like, it's very hard, easier said than done. But to exercise patience, and exercise, why don't I use this time, this great Aries time, to just fuel um, fuel my motivation, to get really motivated for something, hit the gym, start a new detox diet, start, I don't know, if you ever wanted to write something, write a book, start writing this book. Or if you ever wanted to enroll yourself into this course, enroll to a gym, meet someone new. Like, it's such a good energy to begin something, and it would be really a waste of time if you didn't do anything with it. Obviously, if you have a sick day like I do today, obviously you can't really do much. It's okay. Then do something to kind of like enrich your mind, um, enrich your soul, because as I said, we're born with so much knowledge today, so many possibilities. We can just go on the internet and we can type anything we want, and we can find out anything. We have so many books. It's a beautiful time to be alive, except for the recession and the big guys trying to enslave us. But I'm not going to talk about it now because I don't want to get banned. But it's a great time to actually know. Even the forbidden stuff, um they're they're very easily accessible. Not they're like, they try to hide them, for example, but you can still find them. It just takes a little bit of kind of motivation, and that's what it's all about. This new moon is about, where is your motivation? Where does your motivation stand? Do you have enough motivation to keep things going, or to start new things, to start new projects? Definitely use this energy, because it could be great. It could literally, like fire. It could just fuel up and spread into the universe, and the universe can just give it to you very quickly. It's not unlike I think we had the new moon. We probably had the new moon in. Oh, I can't even remember which time we had it last time. But this is a very, very pioneering kind of energy that is literally like fueling this. If you have been suffering from lack of motivation, now this is a good time to really kind of get into that and start something new, something maybe you've thought about doing but you didn't. It's filled with passion. It has so much passion. It has almost even a tiny bit of a revolutionary passion. Like, you want to change yourself for the better, you want to change others for the better. You want to start something. Like, you either want to start a revolution, or you want to start an idea. As I said, the Neptune is at all times high. um, it's slowly moving towards the end of Pisces, but the moon was still making its course through it. So there's an idea that could be fueled for starting this week, for example. There is also like a big tendency to become very angry right now, because obviously like, all of these planets are square to Mars. This is not ideal because, you feel like maybe you want to start something new, but you don't have the something stopping you. There's like a conflict in that starting something new. Um, and something that I wanted to talk about instead of feeling like so stuck, which could create massive anger right now, massive frustration. We have to realize that sometimes the time doesn't come when we want it to, but that is just life. That is just a cycle of life, and that's just how it happens sometimes. Manifestation is a big thing today. I mean, it's literally, I mean, the weather is miserable today, but like, if you're in your little room or something, you can really envision, like, even I see kind of, if you make a vision board, you can kind of like, I see like even if you make this big vision board and I don't know, you put images, you kind of print off and cut off images and you put exactly like the kind of images that you want, then it's kind of like, it's you're sending off these frequencies in the universe and it's basically like slowly putting them into your life like a puzzle. It's like, okay, you're missing this, for example, you're missing a car or you're missing, I don't know, a loved one, or and you can kind of really envision things right now, which is really good to kind of fight that like feeling like I am, I'm perhaps you don't even know what you want to do. You're like, you feel kind of stuck, I can't really move forward, but is this what I really want? And it's okay to question stuff. It's a way of the universe really maybe putting you off a path that you thought was good for you. We all have delusions. We think, oh yeah, actually, you have this image of who you are meant to be and what you're meant to do, but that doesn't really fit your soul purpose. It doesn't really feel like, actually, this is really not me. I want to be this person. I really do. But your soul is like, actually, you should go that way because that way is like more fulfilling for you, even though it seems, it doesn't fit the social norms or it doesn't fit your own norms or your own boxes. Sometimes we are encouraged to really look outside the box in this time and age. So as long as there's this square happening right now, it's going to be quite tense even in the world. You feel like everyone's kind of being they're trying to be very relaxed, but deep down they're really freaking out. Like even I'm freaking out. Like I'm I'm very honest about how I feel. I'm freaking out a little bit, but you know, I just surrender myself to God. I surrender myself to the spiritual. I know wherever I end up, it's what my soul kind of agreed to in the end. So I want to really say that in this very moment that things are going to continue to be a little bit tense until Mars kind of moves into the sign of Cancer, which is going to maybe like quiet down the waters a little bit. Like everything is very, I feel like it's very high strung right now, like including myself. I am very kind of like high strung right now. This is why I have these drops of energy. This is my body's way of saying, okay, now you're going to calm down because you've been up here and you've been freaking out, and now we're gonna make you sick so you can rest, which is great because I had a great rest. But still, it's kind of annoying when it happens. Um, so the waters are gonna like quiet down a little bit, even though when Mars moves in Cancer and then the other planets they go into Aries a little bit further. They're going to be making another square, which is again like it's like you're fighting against something. Like either you're not really living to your soul's purpose, or you're not happy in a relationship, or you're not happy in a job, or it's like you're getting this like conflict. Because if you didn't have that conflict, everything would be so easy. And you would never once think, oh, maybe I should change that. Maybe you will never question if you're even happy or not, if you didn't have these conflicts happening all the time. Um, Let me see if there's anything that I want to maybe discuss about. I definitely drew the tarot cards um, last week. And when it comes to astrology, um, it is what it is for now. But with the tarot cards, I definitely there was a message that came through. So I drew the Devil card and I drew the Temperance card. So it really speaks about really having to. I feel like something's really telling us like to calm down right now and to gain balance and to maintain the peace. Peace is very much needed right now in these crazy times that we live in. I mean, they're unbelievable. You couldn't even write a book. Well, you could write a book. Perhaps a book was written back in 1984, but you could always write another book about it. Crazy times we live in, for sure. Um, it's really kind of like, I feel like the good guys, whatever that means, like they really want peace for all of us, but like something's not letting us have that peace. This is the square that's happening right now. um it's really kind of, it's trying to say that we cannot fall back into our old ways. When I say the old ways, is the ways of the low vibrational, the ways of the negative, the way of the consumerism, of the needless consumption, the everything is so disposable. We really need to maintain balance. We need to maintain peace, and we need to maintain calmness, because then we will be able to rationally judge something for sure if we kind of sit down and we let kind of peace fill our hearts, and we let this energy, this intuition properly kind of guide us through, I don't know if this makes sense. It kind of makes sense to me, but then might not make sense for someone else. um the devil card is a lot about feeling kind of trapped. We're feeling almost like we're in chains, bound in chains. We're feeling like we are slaves to our old habits. So this new moon energy in Aries is like, why should I even start something new? Why should I even hit the gym? I'm never gonna be good enough. Like the square to Mars, I'm never gonna be able to do this. It doesn't matter. Like you don't have to do whatever other people have to do. You don't have to do anything. What's important for you to do, what your soul has to do, and don't look at anything else around you. You do, obviously, if it's not like, don't know, killing 10 people, or doing something extremely like negative like that. That sounded very wrong, but something like that, um not to be slaves of the temporal, the slaves of the material. Like, for example, I can see a lot of generations that are extremely material. All they care about is how much money you earn, how much you have, like how much properties you have, and um, that they just care about material stuff a lot, and the scarce of the spiritual. But we need the spiritual. Obviously, we need a good dose of the material as well, because we are living in a material world. But at the same time, we need to kind of like really cultivate the spiritual and cultivate the ethereal, because we can't really exist as light beings being in the temporal all the time. So this card is kind of telling us that we need to kind of leave that, not fall excuse me, like not fall back into the bad habits, because falling back into the bad habits is very easy. um for example, quitting alcohol and then going back to drinking alcohol even though it's bad, for example, or stuff like that. It's very easy to fall back to where you were, to the low vibrational state. But I think it's important for all of us to start moving on into a high vibration, so we can kind of handle what's coming, because the times that are coming are not very easy. And I feel that we would benefit from raising our vibration and building these communities that are filled with love and peace, and that are sustainable, and that are um, nourishing the non-Pluto in Capricorn. So nourishing the collective, not the big building. And we all know what the big building is. We kind of have to. It's time to exit that how to say that, like temporal demiurge in a way. But at the same time, it's very hard to let go of the old ways. um I feel like even my own ancestors are kind of telling me like the old ways are fine. Not all old ways are bad. So how about incorporating all of that and creating something very new, something very fresh, but that's respecting the ancestors, respecting nature, and at the same time it's respecting the new age that we're in. So we're not completely rejecting the other old ways, but we're just incorporating them in something very new, something that is like leading us into, the next level of progression. um and I also got that, obviously, the temperance card, which is talking about maintaining calmness, maintaining stillness, and maintaining balance, which is something very, very needed at the moment, I feel. Um, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm not picking up on anything for now. So that's it. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I'm quite approachable when I want to be. And that's it for now. And enjoy your spring equinox. Enjoy your nice rituals. Enjoy your nice manifestation. And have a good ending of the week. And I hope you're keeping well. And goodbye.